One, two, one, two. Yes, it's working. Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Very happy to be here at NFT Paris for this keynote with you today. I'm Flavien Defraire. I'm Director of Global Development of the Blockchain Game Alliance. And today I want to talk about the state of the blockchain gaming ecosystem. But before that, I want to explain what is the BGA, what is the Blockchain Game Alliance. We are a non-profit organization committed to promoting blockchain within the gaming industry. We exist since 2018, and I see one of our founders right there with Nicolas. And with more than 400, actually more than 450 companies across 59 countries. And our goal is really to promote blockchain within the gaming industry, which means working with all of those companies and try to connect them with each other, find connection, find ways to also find similarities between the members and how we could actually enhance the capability to work together and find business opportunities. And we do that in different ways. It could be through online activities, but also offline activities, depending on what they need. And I really wanted to suggest this keynote as the state of the blockchain gaming ecosystem, because for the third year we released a report, which is a yearly report, which is a state of the blockchain gaming ecosystem. And for this year we got 526 responses from companies you obviously know: the Amazon, Google Cloud, Square Enix, Upland, the Sandbox, among many others. So the first question we ask, and first before that actually, I want for these 15 minutes to actually show you some takeaways of this report, but I also wanted to highlight, based on those takeaways, what's happening in the ecosystem. And when I say that, I mean in terms of infrastructure, in terms of services and products related to gaming. So the first question we ask, obviously, is why blockchain gaming? Tell us the top benefits of blockchain gaming in your opinion. And for the third year, actually, asset ownership for players was the biggest one, well, the number one for everyone. 2021, we did it. 2022, report 2023. Always people consider asset ownership for players as the number one benefit of blockchain gaming. You also got, in the second position, new revenue models, player reward models. For the third position as well, we're going to get into that. I mean, NFT Paris, we're all here, we understand. I don't think I need to spend too much time, too much of your time to actually tell you about ownership of digital assets. Although you understand the economic freedom behind it, you understand as a business owners, but also a part of the community of Web3 that you can partake, how you can partake in the network effect. And you understand that new concepts come into mind when we talk about gaming and other verticals like liquidity, scarcity, self-custody, governance, and permanence, and many other things. In parallel, you have to take into account what's happening in the gaming industry, and to remind everyone that in 2023, the global games market is $184 billion, and you have to imagine that half of them, almost 49%, is from mobile gaming as well. And billions of dollars on virtual goods, which players don't own, merely licensed by the game companies, and skin and cosmetic items have no specific utility. But obviously, as we are all players, we understand that they enable users to express their culture and their identity. And I think that's really why we see the ownership as being the number one when we try to explain the benefit of blockchain gaming, is how we can enhance the freedom of a player to actually claim his own identity, not only online from the experience he has with people in gaming and online, but also how it translates this experience online, offline as well. And I mean, I just put some names from our members, obviously, but also how you can actually testify what is ownership today. A lot of different games that you could actually play, a lot of different games you can have a sense of what is ownership. And obviously we are in the beginning of it. Those companies have a vision, they want to build, they want to iterate the kind of things they would like to involve in their game. And I put those names as well because we had these games at the booth we have in different conferences all over the world, gaming conferences. We go to conferences, gaming conferences, to say, this is happening, guys. Web3 is here. You may want to check what's happening, and you may want to meet those individuals who are building something. So we had those games at our booth at Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, GDC San Francisco, and anywhere else. So from that, as I said at the beginning, I want from every takeaways try to give you my opinion about why I think it's happening behind the scenes with the members we have, and if we can play the video at the same time as we have here, maybe it's. Actually, yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. I want to highlight ownership. I love the sense of ownership through the sense of belonging, as I said before. Elina, our opponent, co-founder of QuickSave, they developed HTML5 games for social apps for a long time, and they actually moved into Web3 with this game for Axie Infinity Raillight, so another game based on the Axie Infinity franchise. I wanted to highlight that because it's a game, first, who was involving the owners only of the land owners of the Axie Infinity game. And the principle of that was you have to collaborate, you have to work together if you want to grow your land, if you want to be better at crafting recipes, and you learn together and you have to share knowledge together. So I think it's perfect to see the ownership of a specific digital asset in-game and the ability for you to collaborate with each other as a community of players to progress into the games. As said, as the second position, new revenue models from game developers, and I really would like to thank Cristina Macedo, CEO of Ready Games, Ready GG, who actually gave us the case studies they have with Runestone Keeper. They looked to Web3 to re-energize their cult favorite game by bringing new quests, on-chain tournaments, and heroes the players' community could get exciting about, honing and training over time. And you see from the results you have, the KPIs you have below, it's not only allowing new monetization channels, it's also having an impact in the engagement of the game itself. So you see the 47 lift in terms of average revenue per paid users, or the average revenue per daily active users. Very good numbers as well, but having an impact in terms of the conversion rate and the engagement time as well. So very powerful to see that has an impact. Player reward models as the third position. You have so many examples about what's happening. I wanted to highlight the two last one I saw in the BGA, and for me it was very interesting. Alien Worlds, one of the OGs of decentralized gaming, and they announced their tokenized law, allowing the community to shape decentralized IP. I don't know your journey as a gamer. For me, I love games because I can be a part of the story of the game. That's really what excites me the most. But imagine if as a player, you could actually be a part of what could happen, what kind of character you could interact with. And having this community deciding on the law itself of the game, I think is very powerful. And you have Red Racing. It's a racing game with backed by Animoca brands, and the grand tournaments there you can earn tokens and NFT as reward every week. And I want to highlight the tech again, which is something that they work with Superfluid, which is a BGA member as well, to stream revenues to players in a linear distribution without impacting the price of the token. So they imagine a technology where they actually stream revenues along the way without impacting anything in terms of the tokenomics. Second question we asked was, okay, what kind of challenges are we facing? I mean, we're in Web3, obviously we have some challenges, but for the blockchain gaming ecosystem, what kind of challenges we're facing? That's not going to surprise you, you being here. Onboarding challenges is the number one. It was the number one in 2022 for our report. And the second thing is poor gameplay. Third, concept not fully understood. Either you want to focus to onboarding players, which I understand, a lot of conversation online about it. It makes total sense. On our side and on my side, I would like to highlight how to onboard game developers, because if you cannot onboard game developers, how can you onboard players? And I mean, a lot of things, exciting things is happening. I mean, you have something, when you think of the mindset of game developers, he's developing the game, he's in the game engine he's using, so Unity, it could be Unreal, the main ones we have here. And what we're seeing is SDKs, you know, these library kits every game developer is actually following, and they are building blocks depending on the technology they will have, they would like to have in their game. And we're seeing Web3 SDK since almost 1 year, massively communicated from the announcement of Unity and the library they released on their website for any Web3 companies who could actually help game developers build Web3 functionalities for games. And in the BGA we have Altura, we have OpenFort, Sequence, and ChainSafe doing that as well. So you see that something is happening in terms of the developers who can actually easily implement Web3 with the game engine they already use, without any friction in terms of the way they are using the game engine. I won't be able to go into detail for this one in terms of the time we have, but I really would like to highlight other things that's happening in terms of the tech. OpenFort is actually doing multi-chain accounts, pop-up-less blockchain interaction. I mean, if you are gamers, you understand you cannot have multiple pop-ups. That's not working. Sequence. They just announced 1 month ago, I think, that they have a no-code platform for game developers who actually want to release a marketplace for their game easily, but also implement a wallet as well, but among many other things. And you have ChainSafe communicated end of last year about decentralized loot boxes. Loot boxes, we understand what it is. These different boxes you can open when you progress into the game. They want to use transparency of the blockchain to obviously give visibility to how fair it was to actually open these loot boxes. So a lot of visibility between what's happening between the game developers and the players, and more fairness and transparency between them. And Moonstream.io, which automates the rewarding players for their on and off-chain activities. So, okay, why blockchain gaming? The top benefits and the challenges. So what will be the drivers? What kind of factors will drive the industry forward? The top one was adoption by major traditional studios, game improvement in terms of gameplay, in terms of graphics. And the third one was adoption by major gaming franchises. So focusing on the first one, I mean, you saw Ubisoft booth there. They showed the first iteration of the game, Champion Tactics. And you saw all the different news. Like, remember 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when we have a news from any game companies, big game companies entering into Web3 and the kind of reception of people about it. Like, we're having a lot of announcements from a lot of different big companies like that, with Square Enix, We Made in South Korea, Sega, and Bandai Namco, who actually moving into the space. And we are very fortunate to have Hideaki Uehara, General Manager of Investment and Business Development Department, who actually part of the board of the BGA, and don't have the time to say anything, to say everything about it, but I can emphasize the second sentence, which is a few years ago, we received many blockchain game pitches that explain the token economics before explaining the game content, resulting in lessening the importance of what the game was about. I believe that the adoption of blockchain and the use of tokens are means, not goals. And I think it's very powerful to say that and to remind ourselves these important things. Yes, we're going to talk about onboarding players for sure. But again, from the tech perspective and infrastructure perspective in terms of game improvements. So if we can play the 2 videos now on screen. I would like to highlight what Universe, one of the members of the BGA, is doing first in terms of level of customization. They actually, you may have the sound there, I hope not. It should be okay. So in the left, you have the high level of customization. It should show the high level of customization in terms of you have an NFT character and you can actually build any kind of weapon within it. And the level of customization of those weapons is really important and very interesting because you can mint it afterwards. So you know how important it is for a player to customize your character, but also everything you have. And having this customization level being a part of the minting process, I think it's very important to have a very cool experience, ensuring ownership in the process as well. And community levels, because they ask and they suggest to any kind of players they have to suggest levels for their own community. And they are incentivized to do so. They are incentivized to build their own levels. Anyone in the game could play. And I think we can do the same for the 2 videos at the same time. So another example. Oh, a slide before. How can I do? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're good. Thank you. So Pocket Space, I love it because on your left, you see that from a prompt, you prompt as a user, as a player, you want to play the game, you prompt a specific character you would like to have in the game, and you generate, so the game generates a specific character, you just prompt it from AI, obviously, and you mint the character. And obviously on your right, if the video can can be on, you can actually play the character you just prompted before. So having AI part of the process of the creation of your own character, I think it's very powerful to see. And lastly, Flooftopia is kind of the same things in terms of what kind of level of customization you could have in your game. A lot of things you could do with your avatars and part of your minting process as well. Either you're okay of choosing one of the 10K characters in your game that you have in specific NFT collection, which is fine. I have one, not only one. But also you can actually customize the look of the character with a lot of different levels. And I think it's also very powerful to consider that. Sorry, don't change the slide for. So yeah, part of the minting process, having Flooftopia, level of customization of the different characters, I think it's good before going to the game. And the last things from One Earth Rising, they introduced something called ownable game assets. So you take the NFT specifically and you associate the NFT, so the ownership of the asset, with also the items as well, and anything you could do as a game developer to integrate the asset in any game. And one example they did with this sandbox was how to use the avatar, the Snoop Dogg avatar, from this sandbox, so with the sandbox look, into another game. And so they are really experiencing that, and we are in the premises of interoperability, in my opinion. A lot of key takeaways. We did our best to give you some state of the industry reports on paper we have released end of last year. And thank you very much for your attention. If you need anything, you have my Telegram. We'll be happy to chat. Thank you.